Hey guys, how's it going? And today I'm going to be reviewing one of my go-to animes, The Irregular at Magic High School. Now the story of The Irregular at Magic High School revolves around our protagonist, Tatsuya Shiba, and his younger sister, Miyuki Shiba, as they attend First High. Now the anime is placed in a world where magic exists, and schools have been created to teach students to hone their skills as magicians. Now with that out of the way, let's move on to some of the characters of the show. But before I do that, let me just say this. In the anime, we get introduced to several and a lot of characters as the anime goes on. So, I'm only going to be mentioning and talking about the two siblings, Tatsuya and his sister. But, I will mention one other character. Now, like I have already mentioned, Tatsuya Shiba is our main protagonist of the anime. Now, he is a very cool, calm, and collective person that shows very little emotion to pretty much anything. He's very smart, powerful, but he has a very soft spot for his sister, Miyuki. But if you try to harm her, you'll end up looking like this guy. And then you'll end up like this guy. Next character is Miyuki Shiba. Now Miyuki Shiba is a younger sister of Tatsuya Shiba. She's a very smart, beautiful, and very powerful with ice magic person. She's very formal, respectful, and has a very strong relationship with his older brother. She's always thinking about him, always worrying about him, because a lot of the times as we hear her thoughts, people like to take advantage of Tatsuya by using his enormous power. Now the character that I wanted to mention was Mayumi. Now Mayumi, she is the student council president, and she's a very beautiful character, yes, and I really did like her. She always kind of tried to interact with Tatsuya, she kind of messed with him a little bit, but she's a very, respectful, formal person, and really, she is a person that when you watch the anime, you hear a speech from her, and she is a character that if you hear that speech that she gave out in the school, she'd be a character that you would gladly follow. She's a character that I definitely would have followed and, respected if I did meet her. She's a person that is very respectable, and I really liked her, and she is the character that I wanted Tatsuya to end up with at the end of the series, but the ending was not exactly what I wanted. Now, like I've already said, there are a lot of characters in the anime that I will not get to because there's too many. Now next, let me get to some of the things I liked and disliked about the anime. Now, one of the things that I definitely did like about The Irregular at Magic High School is the story. The story was very interesting. It's kind of unique and very interesting. In the very first episode, you kind of just, you're like, oh, okay. As you watch, you're kind of thinking, and as the anime progresses, it gives you that, I don't know, and it gives you this feeling of it's very interesting because they hint at things, but it gets you thinking. You're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Another thing that I liked about the anime was the animation. The animation done by Studio Madhouse was done very well and very beautiful. They do use a little bit of 3D CGI, and if you do kind of pay attention, you'll notice it here and there. The use of it isn't that bad, but sometimes it does. You're like thinking really that could have just been animated, but regardless, the animation is very beautiful, and it definitely does stand out in the fighting scenes and the scenes where they're really using magic. You can tell it's done very well, very beautiful. 3D CGI, I don't have much of a problem with it. It is kind of it's in the anime, but regardless, the animation overall is very well done. Now, another thing that I liked about the show is that the music was very well done, especially in fighting scenes. That small English and Japanese mixture of songs was very cool, very techno. I definitely did like it. The opening and ending songs for both seasons were done very well. I definitely did like it, and I believe the first opening is done by a singer called Lisa that I definitely did like. I do like her music. I listen to it here and there, but she did the opening for the first season, which I liked, and very cool. Another thing that I did like about the anime is that early on in the first few episodes of the anime, we get introduced to a bit of a problem that schools face, and this is the use of the term weeds and blooms, and this refers to first course students and second course students. The seconds are regarded as weeds. Granted, not a lot of people, in the school view themselves as superior or below, but there's an issue that those that are blooms kind of look down at their fellow students. So segregation is brought up in the anime. I definitely did like it. I liked how they kind of handle it. They don't really resolve it, and a lot of issues come up with that. But regardless, I definitely did like that they brought up that issue with segregation and stuff like that. I found it kind of interesting and liked it. And one quick thing that I will say is that another really thing that I did like about the anime was Tatsuya. Tatsuya is a very interesting and unique character. He's very quiet. He's very strong. If you mess with him, you will die. But there's so much to him that we don't know that it kind of just bugged me throughout the show that I wanted to know more about him. I wanted to know more. He was my favorite character in the anime, and a character that I enjoyed seeing him kind of do things, how he kind of thought, his mentality. He's a very mysterious character, very calm, collective, quiet, serious, straight to the point, and doesn't really fool around much. And like I said, he is my favorite character of the show, and I do wish that we could have known more about him, but we don't. So now those were some of the things I liked about the show. There are other things that I enjoyed, but those are one of the things that I wanted to mention. But with those in mind, let me get to some of the things I didn't really like about the anime. Now, before I go any further, I will say this. The Irregular Magic High School is an anime that I enjoy watching here and there. Anytime I want to watch something, I just play the Irregular Magic High School. But there are things that aren't very well done in the anime. One of the things that definitely did bug me and will kind of bug you throughout the show is that there are a lot of characters that are introduced into the show. They do get a good amount of screen time, but we don't know much about them. We get to see them interact with each other, we get to see them interact with Tatsuya, but that is it. That's why I only mentioned Tatsuya and his sister, because those are the only two we get a good amount of time with them, their development. We get to understand them, how they think, how they feel about each other. We get to see that. But the rest of the characters, we don't get much of them. Sure, we get to see some scenes, some episodes that kind of focus on them, but besides that, we don't know anything. They hint at their past, they hint of their families, but that's it. We don't know much about them, and that's one of the big things that really did bug me about the show. And that's touching into my next point, that the anime brings up a lot of interesting concepts. There are a lot of issues that take place throughout the story of the anime, but that's it. We don't see much of them. Sure, we get to see mentions of the 10 master clans. Who are they? I don't know. There are a lot of things that are mentioned in the anime that we don't know much about, and we don't get to find out. And all of these issues and things that are brought up, they don't really close. They leave a lot of things out there. They leave a lot of loose strings, and that's not something that I really did like. Now, the anime is from 2014, and it is 2017, and we're still expecting another season, but, I'm expecting another season, and it's not here. So all of these issues and problems stay with you at the end of the anime. Once you finish it, you end up with a feeling of not very satisfied, which is an issue. Another thing that I will say that might be an issue to others, for me, it didn't bug me that much, is that the relationship between the siblings, Tatsuya and Miyuki, is not very exactly a brotherly relationship, especially from Miyuki's side. Miyuki definitely tries to get close to her brother, and they do you kind of see a love relationship between the two, and I could see where it could bug other people, and I'm warning you, it's kind of there, but towards the end of the anime, we don't get to see that much. Towards the beginning, yes, we get to see them act all lovey-dovey, but towards the end, not so much. We get to see it once, maybe twice, but that's it. But in the beginning, there is a little bit of that, so it's a bit of a warning to you if you don't like that. It's there. But for me, it didn't really bug me that much, which I'm kind of surprised, but that's probably due to the fact that I've seen the anime so many times. So overall, the Irregular Magic High School is a very interesting anime that is not perfect, but there are those scenes, episodes, that do kind of make you, they're good. It's not that bad of an anime. Sure, it's not perfect, it's not amazing, but it looks great, the animation is great, the voice acting is amazing, really, it's really good. And overall, I really do like the anime. It's an anime that, like I myself, you can watch several times, not have that big of an issue with it. Granted, you can't really take it too serious, but it's a very interesting anime that if you watch it again, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. With 26 episodes, it is an anime that I definitely enjoyed, and I definitely do recommend for you to check it out. If you don't like it, that's okay, but it is a very interesting anime that I enjoyed. And with that in mind, I'm giving the Irregular at Magic High School a 4 out of 5 stars. It is a good anime. It is. It's not that bad. And it's an anime that I enjoyed and would watch it again. Sure, this is probably my fourth or fifth time watching the anime again. It's something that you can just kind of just watch. So guys, that's my review of the Irregular at Magic High School. There are a lot of things that I would have liked to touched on and talked about, but it would have been a bit longer. The review would have been a bit longer. So if I've interested you in the anime, you can definitely check out the anime on Netflix, which I believe it's still there, or you can check it out on Crunchyroll, where I watched it. You can watch all the 26 episodes there. I'll leave a link below to Crunchyroll, or you can download the app Crunchyroll off the Play Store or Apple Store and watch it there. So I hope you enjoyed my review of the Irregular Magic High School. I would have talked a bit more about the anime, but I think what I've mentioned is kind of the overall feel of the anime. If you've seen it, I'm pretty sure you might agree with me. Also, if you have any other questions or anything you would like to ask, put it in the comments below. I'll definitely take a look at it, and if I can answer them, I will. So anyway guys, thanks for watching my review, my very first review of 2017, the Irregular Magic High School, which is pretty cool, you know, new year, anime that I liked, reviewed it. Anyway guys, thanks for watching my review, and see you next time.